Well, I'm here with Charles Tarbey. We're in his wonderful resort in Kangaroo Valley. We just finished the Century 21 conference, and of course, this a man that has great insights, has had great insights for many years on a global scale. And but right now, Charles, I want to ask you the question: what's happening locally in terms of Sydney? Why do you believe, or why do you feel the auction numbers running at about 67%? The rate that they were in 2024. So we're actually a lot lower than in 2024.
It's an interesting marketplace that we're in, but most importantly, that number is still a very good number. And I think that's what people need to get their heads around. When you and I might have been auctioning going back many, many years ago, we were excited about getting 30-40% clearance rates. And you have to work hard to get that. I think the issue in Australia or the Sydney market itself is still, people are still unsure. There's still a significant number of buyers, more buyers than there are sellers. So, and that to me is probably indicates that the marketplace is going to stay strong for some time. And people were talking about a decline in price a year ago. We couldn't see that, and that hasn't happened. And I think we'll continue to get some steady growth due to three really important things. One, the interest rates are starting to nudge back a little bit. Two, the immigration levels are at a high level, and people are complaining about that, but they are there, which means that the construction or the amount of stock we have now is not going to support that. And that gives rise to Sydney prices moving. And then you've got the 5% introduction, or 5% deposit that's being pushed, that was started with the Morrison government, that now the Albanese government's trying to drive through. Now that means that people who are not having to pay mortgage insurance will have more money to spend. And that issue will mean that if those people enter the market, and there's more of them coming in, that too is going to push the price or steady the price.
Yeah. So in terms of price, totally agree with you. I too was an advocate for the last few years, saying that the market isn't going to pull back because of those conditions that you discussed. Talked about the government immigration policy, construction costs being out of control, and developers and builders. Not like back in the day when we were selling that, it wasn't. It was a lot easier to build.
The green tape and the red tape are significant now. Yeah, significant.
But in terms of the way that properties are being marketed now, the auction numbers are significantly lower. Do you feel that is? What are your thoughts on the numbers? I mean, are people gearing more towards private treaty because of the uncertainty? It's just that those auction numbers are running low. Is it confidence? What do you feel it is?
Look, I'm not an advocate for 100% auction because I think if you've got 10 homes in an area that are similar, people will make offers. They're not going to put themselves under the stress. So there'll always be properties that are more auction oriented than others. I just think that right now it's just a numbers game. I think we're in that cycle. We've got spring starting. I think you'll see now that the spring season there'll be an uplift in a number of properties. Traditionally, the cycles have been there. We haven't seen cycles in real estate for a long time. I think we're starting to see them again. So I think it'll lift. I do think it'll lift.
The numbers by way of sale by auction. One of the things that hasn't helped was the bad publicity around the auction campaigns and the way that our industry has fooled around with the process, as opposed to giving the consumer, the buyer, and also the vendor a good experience through that process. We've actually made it very, very cumbersome in a way, and also very they've taken to task, because us in the industry trying to do the right thing, they're taking us to task because of the bad apples in the industry.
There are different and difficult people in every profession.
100%.
Every profession. Our industry is seen or highlighted because of the amount of publicity our industry gets. You don't hear a lot about, say, a bad accountant, because they're not getting the same publicity we get as an industry. So, look, the spotlight is on us a lot more. And there are always rogue real estate practitioners. As you know, this is my 53rd year in real estate. So I've managed to do the right thing for all that period of time.
100%.
And there are a lot of people that I've worked with that have that done and continue to do.
Yeah, and that is one of your backbones. That is one of your pillars, is that transparency that you bring forth through the Century 21 model, that approach that people have to the franchise. To your,
Well,
to your group.
I guess it's like-minded people. It's the same in every industry. You know, the old saying, "Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are."
Yeah.
And I think that if you operate a certain way, you attract the right people. Look, everybody's in a different place at exactly the same time, and some people have different issues going on for them, and they don't handle them as well. But you know, overall, when I look at our industry and I look at the people that I deal with in my organisation, I feel very comfortable with who they are and what they're doing for the consumer.
Yeah, look, commendable. Thank you for your time, Charles. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Edmund.
All the best.
Thank you. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.